This is Fox 49 News at 6:30.
Well, a doctor's clinic left in the heat after its AC units were hit by criminals for a second time. Thanks for joining us here. I'm Mike Landis.
And I'm Lauren Barnes. Copper stolen out of the units at Ozarks Dermatology Specialist in the Bradford Park area in Springfield. And the heat is making it difficult for doctors to do their jobs. Our own Bethany French has this story.
Yeah, and in an instance like this, it's frustration and it's anger at this point, just for the simple fact that this has happened 2 months ago. Here we are going through this again. We're hitting 100-degree temperatures.
The damaged units control the air temperature in most of the surgical rooms, creating an uncomfortable work environment. The clinic says it may have to cancel some of its upcoming surgeries. But Ozarks Dermatology is not alone, as police say copper thefts from AC units are a common problem.
Our property crimes unit, they have said that this is a very common report that they see. And at this time, they haven't seen any particular spike in the number of reports of metal thefts, but it is a very consistently reported crime.
All right, thank you, Bethany. And of course, so we're dealing with very hot temperatures outside. We're really understanding the importance of air conditioning today, that's for sure.
For sure, yes, those poor people without it. It's dangerously hot out there, and this is the first time that we've actually had a heat advisory all week long, or all summer long, I should say. This is our first of the year. That makes it even more dangerous because we're simply not acclimated to the heat yet. This heat advisory went into effect at 1 p.m. today and goes until 7 p.m. on Friday. We've got our 3-day heat wave. And then we will see a cool down into the weekend. Here's where our heat index is right now. 104, feels like 106 at Lake of the Ozarks, 101 in West Plains. Harrison feels like 102 and 107 in Joplin. As we progress throughout the nighttime temperatures, unfortunately, that's not stopping. As we progress through our nighttime temperatures, we are going to stay very warm. Overnight lows, 77 degrees, so it's going to feel like it's already in the 80s when you wake up tomorrow. And then back to the triple-digit heat index. We will have all of that coming up in just a few minutes. We'll also talk about your weekend cool down with rain chances. I'll see you in a few.
All right, sounds better. Thank you, Natalie. Well, as this heat wave kicks off, Springfield Greene County Health is urging all of us to play it safe when we're outside.
With that extreme heat comes an increased risk for heat-related illnesses. Fox 49 Shadiah Tomlin is live from the health department with that tonight. Shadiah.
That's right. As the sun continues to beat down, the Springfield Greene County Health Department is wanting to remind people to remain cautious as heat-related illnesses can be deadly. With the heat index in the triple digits, a heat advisory in the area will remain in place until Friday evening. Local health officials are emphasizing the seriousness of the weather conditions for both humans and four-legged companions and letting people know that resources are available to them, like cooling stations located around the city. Many jobs require people to work out in the heat, and we spoke with local electricians about how they're staying safe and healthy while working on ACs in this heat. I'll have that later on tonight on Fox 49 News at 9 p.m. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Shadiah Tomlin, Ozarks First.
Good advice. Thank you, Shadiah. And some public pools are also staying open in Springfield, offering some extra hours through Friday to help us beat the heat. Today, Springfield Greene County Park Board keeping Fast Night Pool open until 8 p.m. Silver Springs, meantime, will be open until 8 Thursday and Friday. Now, admission is $4 for kids and seniors and $5 for adults. But from 5:30 to close, if you get there a little bit later, the price is $1 or free with a canned food donation. Cooling centers in Springfield also open this week. You can find that list on our website, ozarksfirst.com. An investigation underway in Boone County, Arkansas tonight after a man was found murdered in his home. A suspect is in custody, accused of killing Dale McIntyre, who was discovered in his Bellefonte home with a gunshot wound on Monday. Authorities believe he was shot during the night before, and evidence points detectives to 28-year-old Donnie Calderwood of Harrison. He's been charged with capital murder and aggravated assault. He's being held without bond.
A man in Springfield accused of trying to shoot someone with an antique-style pistol has been arrested. 51-year-old Edgar Woodruff is charged with 3 felonies. Police say a witness and the victim told them Woodruff pulled the trigger of a black powder pistol twice, but it failed to fire. Then, after the victim wrestled the pistol away from Woodruff, they say he retrieved a black powder rifle. Woodruff has been booked into the Greene County Jail. A woman from Florissant has been charged for attempting to help an inmate escape from Greene County custody. Authorities say 22-year-old Nakraya Harris conspired with an inmate to help him escape while he was making a court appearance. That escape attempt was unsuccessful. Harris has joined that inmate in the Greene County Jail. The Marine veteran accused of the choking of a man to death on a New York City subway train has pleaded not guilty. 24-year-old Daniel Penny faces charges of second-degree manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. Cell phone video from the May 1st incident shows Penny holding Jordan Neely in a chokehold. Penny's attorneys say he was just defending himself and that the passengers on the train were defending themselves as well from Neely's erratic behavior.
The evidence that we've seen so far and all the evidence we expect to see shows that that Danny acted reasonably under very difficult circumstances in a confined environment that none of us would ever want to find ourselves in.
According to witnesses on the train, Neely was threatening passengers riding the F train when Penny placed him in a chokehold to subdue him. Penny kept Neely in that hold even after he stopped moving. If he is found guilty, he faces up to 15 years behind bars.
Well, a family that normally celebrates on July 4th will instead be gathering to grieve the loss of a loved one. Leidy Shorey is one of two people who died when Rafael Contreras Maldonado led police on a chase, ran a red light, and then hit a car. Maldonado is now charged with DWI. Fox 49's Sydney Moran spoke with Shorey's niece earlier today.
Law enforcement arrested Contreras Maldonado Friday night, but the last 5 days have been anything but easy for Shorey's family.
Everyone's been kind of struggling and taking it pretty hard. It was sudden and definitely too soon. Definitely something that didn't have to happen.
On Friday, Lawrence County deputies were chasing 19-year-old Rafael Contreras Maldonado. They say the chase ended when Maldonado ran a red light at Highway 37 and US 60 in Monette, crashing into Shorey and driver Larry Brock. Contreras Maldonado was charged with driving while intoxicated. Shorey's niece, Chrissy Maupin, says Contreras Maldonado should not have been behind the wheel. Maupin normally spends the 4th of July with her aunt, but this year she has to rely on memories. Maupin also says Shorey leaves behind many family members.
She's leaving behind a son that is fully disabled. So the son is now left in family care, which is my parents to take care of him.
Contreras Maldonado is scheduled for a bond appearance hearing in Cassville on Thursday. Reporting in Springfield, Sydney Moran, Ozarks First.
Well, in the last year alone, the state of Missouri has returned more than $53 million in unclaimed property as a way to raise awareness about what people leave behind. The state treasurer stopped in Springfield today. He showed a display of the types of things that are abandoned in safety deposit box held by the state treasurer's office.
Here in Greene County, there is $35.7 million of unclaimed property. You may not have rented a safety deposit box, but perhaps you inherited sentimental valuables from a relative. I encourage you to check our database at showmemoney.com.
Now, in all, the state treasurer's office says it currently holds nearly $1.4 billion worth of unclaimed property, most of which are financial assets and safety deposit box. Again, if you want to see if there's any unclaimed property under your name, you can search the website showmemoney.com. Taking a live look now over the skies of Springfield, it is clear and very hot still.
It is, and only expected to get hotter. Meteorologist Natalie Nunn is back with those details right after a quick break. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
You're watching Fox 49 News at 6:30 with Mike Landis, Lauren Barnes, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
Well, as these drought conditions continue across Missouri, not only are livestock producers being affected, but also the future of the state's wine industry.
That's right. They are feeling the brunt of the dry weather. Grapevines, too, between the winter and spring freeze that caused many of the fruit buds to die. And now the drought, the $3 billion industry, is concerned about the future of those grapevines.
Probably a reduction of 60 to 70% in the state of Missouri on our grape crop. Projected yields where you'd have about four tons per acre, we're looking probably close to about 1 ton, and it may be less now with the dry conditions.
The state says it's still too early to estimate the economic impact this drought will have on crops like corn. And Natalie, whether you're growing grapes, cattle, corn, I'm sure a lot of folks are hoping for more rain, but it sounds like as we're getting farther into the summer, those chances for any major rainfall are kind of drying up, literally.
It's been a really dry June all across the area, and I have a drought map to show you guys right now.
Wow.
This is the current drought map. Now, it will be updated come tomorrow, and I do expect drought-like conditions to grow across the area, but you can see central Missouri hit much harder than those of us here in southern Missouri. I want to give you an idea. It's been a dry June. Springfield, we have made it to almost exactly 2 inches of rain, but normal for this time of the month is 4.05 inches. So we're about half of where we should be. Rolla's even less. Joplin's doing a little better than we are. Now, the good news is we do have rain in the forecast. The bad news is I don't know that it's going to catch us up or bust any droughts for us. The thing that really kind of sets things into motion with drought-like conditions, the heat. And we are under that heat advisory right now. This started at 1 p.m. today, and it will go until 7 p.m. on Friday. Dangerously high heat index across the area, so you need to keep it in mind. If you can just stay inside for a while, especially if you're sensitive to heat, do that. And if you have to go out, light-colored, loose-fitting clothes, that's a mouthful, and make sure you drink lots of water and try to stay in the shade. It is dangerous out there, and this is the first heat advisory we've had so far this year, so I think we're just probably not as acclimated to the heat yet. 95, that's where we're at right now in Springfield with a southwest wind at 14 miles per hour. That makes it feel a little bit better out there. That dew point at 73, unfortunately, does not help with the heat index because it's making it feel even warmer. Nobody's made it to 100 yet. That'll come tomorrow, I have a feeling. 98 in Joplin, 93 in Mountain Grove, 93 in Rolla and Lake of the Ozarks at 97. Here's what it feels like: 106 at Lake of the Ozarks, 101 in West Plains, and 104 in Springfield. So that heat index putting a solid, 5 to 10 degrees on what the actual temperature is. Satellite and radar, dry conditions and clear. Unfortunately, we talked about that drought. We need the rain. It's just not in the cards for a couple more days. Overnight tonight, 77 degrees. It will be breezy, but we're not going to see any relief really overnight. You're going to wake up and it's already going to feel like it's in the 80s. For tomorrow, our high will be at 101. It said 97, 101 degrees. And I do think that we're actually going to set new records with a high temperature. The old record was from 1952. That was set at 100 degrees in Springfield. Rolla, 104, and that was from 1952 as well, 105 degrees. West Plains, that was 103 back in 2012. That was another year that we had extreme heat and extreme drought-like conditions. So forecasted highs, we're going to tie or break quite a few records tomorrow. And we could even flirt with the highest temperature in record in the month of June here in the Ozarks. So this is definitely not normal for June. Your heat index forecast, some models are playing it a little safer. I think this is one of them. I think it's going to feel anywhere from 105 to 110 tomorrow. Same thing on Friday, but look at that cool down. Boy, it's going to feel really nice come the weekend thanks to a cold front that will be approaching Saturday into Sunday, and it will bring the chance of a few scattered showers and storms. Will we see a lot of rain with this? Unfortunately not, but I do think it's going to lead to cooler temperatures. Will be where we should be for this time of the year, and we'll also just see a more active pattern where we may actually squeeze some rain out next week. We've got triple-digit days Thursday and Friday. That heat advisory will expire, and we'll go back to 91 degrees on Saturday. On Sunday, 88 degrees. That's going to feel like a big-time cool down, and then we'll stay very seasonal as we head into your 4th of July forecast, where we'll see a high of 90 with scattered storms.
Might be feeling like fall by Sunday, Natalie. Thank you for that forecast. Across the country, more than 80 million Americans are under air quality alerts as smoke from Canada's nearly 500 wildfires blanket cities from the East Coast to the Midwest. Chicago ranks the worst in the U.S. for air quality. Already, this year's wildfire season is considered the worst on record, burning nearly 30,000 square miles, as captured on some satellite images. Canada's wildfire season typically peaks in late July or August, leaving more than half of the peak season still to come. And the wildfires could also lead to delays in air travel. However, much of the United States is already facing air travel delays, with United Airlines facing the worst with about 12% of its schedule canceled by mid-morning. Bad weather and staffing issues also contributed to the chaos. Those delays come as TSA braces for what could be the busiest travel weekend of the summer. AAA expects more than 4 million Americans to fly over the 4th of July holiday, breaking a pre-pandemic record.
And speaking of the July 4th holiday coming up, there's going to be a lot of fireworks in the skies, of course, in those days leading up to it and on the big holiday night. The light show, though, isn't always a good thing for our pets at home. According to Rover.com, 71% of pet parents say their dog is afraid of the fireworks. 30% of owners say they skip July 4th altogether, trying to stay home and comfort their furry friends. Vets are reminding us to keep our pets indoors, give them lots of love and attention. You can even use a thunder shirt or a pressure wrap to help out. And if all else fails, you can distract them. You can also consider going to the vet and asking for some medication to help calm them down.
That is the only thing that is going to help to get them through it. And there's no shame in, as a pet parent, going to your veterinarian and saying, hey, I need help.
Vets are saying if you're going to do that, call them right now. Simply do not wait until July 3rd. After the mutiny subsided yesterday, experts are weighing in over what this means for Russia's president. Find out about the state of that nation during this crisis when we come back.
You're watching Fox 49 News.
There's a new buzzword in the White House, and it's called Bidenomics. Now, what that does is it rejects trickle-down policies as an approach the president says has benefited the wealthy and big corporations. He credits his plan for the country's rebound after the pandemic, touting the addition of more than 13 million jobs nationwide. Although inflation is easing, the Congressional Budget Office forecasts a tough economic outlook in the coming years. And about 70% of Americans in urban areas are now living paycheck to paycheck, making many pessimistic despite the president's optimism.
We're going to continue this progress and make sure every American has the training and education to participate in this new economy.
Well, the president admits there is more work to do to tackle inflation, and we'll find out exactly how much more on Friday when the Commerce Department releases key inflation numbers that the Federal Reserve will be closely tracking.
Making world news tonight, the mutiny in Russia is over, but the fallout is still being assessed. Some are calling it an attempted coup by Russian militants called the Wagner Group, and they say it exposed vulnerabilities within Vladimir Putin's government.
Russians did not come out in their hundreds of thousands to protect President Putin against this coup attempt.
Wagner had been at the forefront of Russia's attempts to expand its global footprint. In a series of appearances since the uprising, Putin is reframing the mutiny as a victory. Overnight, a Russian missile strike on a crowded restaurant in eastern Ukraine killed at least 11 people, a sign that Moscow is still fully committed to the war on Ukraine. And still to come, caught on camera, one police officer offering a snack to save a dog who's struggling here. See that video when we come back.
You're watching Fox 49 News.
Well, here's a little trick maybe the rest of us can use sometime. Police in Arizona saving a dog with just a pumpkin muffin. Kind of out of season for that treat, but somebody had one. You can see the police body cam footage showing a dog swimming in the canal in Glendale, which is in the Phoenix area, and the pooch had no way out of there. A person passing by called 911. They came out to do a welfare check on the animal, which was very wet and just simply did not want to get out of that waterway right there.
He was just probably trying to cool down.
I bet so, right?
And German Shepherds do have 2 coats, so that's highly likely. When officers got there, They ended up offering one of their wives had freshly baked some pumpkin muffins.
Okay.
So there's a wife that's coming to the rescue in this story too. The German Shepherd was able to be reunited with its owner. So it accepted the pumpkin muffin and was able to be rescued. This is actually a little surprising to me because I used to have a German Shepherd and that dog was the pickiest eater.
Wow.
Really?
I used to have to bribe him to eat a single meal a day. And he
Really?
was also very hot-natured. So I
that?
think you're exactly right. This dog was trying to cool off, but I am happy. They say dogs do like pumpkin naturally.
Interesting.
It's like a natural
Okay.
thing that
It's good
eases
for their belly.
tummy.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I've used it before.
Maybe.
Well, as we were mentioning, it'd be nice if it was pumpkin spice season. It's certainly not that cool outside. We're going to be wanting to
Toasty
cool
for
off.
that.
Yeah, I was just noticing. It looks like Arizona's gotten some rain, so good for them. Hey, for us, 101 tomorrow. It'll be breezy, but it's going to be hot. 100 on Friday. Then the cool down comes. Chance of rain on Saturday, but a better chance on Sunday.
Sweating just thinking about that, seeing those numbers. Clear skies. We'll see you right back here tonight at 9.